So, in that regard, the issue lies in the provisions of the Children's Act, and I believe that social workers are misconstruing the intention of the legislature when the legislator stated in section 150 of the Children's Act, and I'll just read out the precise verbatim words of the Act to address the question, where the Act states that a child is in need of care and protection if the child and then at subparagraph H of 150 is in a state of physical or mental neglect. Now, what transpires in a lot of these matters is that the fact that parents and the children are living in poverty is taken drastically out of contrast to the provisions of the Children's Act, the provisions of the Constitution, which state that a child has a right to parental care and a family environment, and is used to remove children because of poverty. Poverty and neglect are not the same thing. Poverty is not a reason to remove a child. Neglect, however, on the other hand, is. In that regard, I'll give you an example. A child who is living in poverty will still be cleaned, they'll still be bathed, they'll still be looked after and cared for by their parents. However, a child that's neglected would not have been bathed, would not have been fed or had food to eat. And that is neglect, in terms of which the Children's Act does state that a child may be removed. Just to take my example further, the Children's Act doesn't state that because a child is eating bread and water, if so be the case, as the parents can only afford to provide bread and water because of dire poverty, which is a challenge that the country currently sits with in respect of unemployment as well as high levels of poverty, that a child should be removed because of neglect. That's not the intention of the legislator. The intention of the legislator, however, is that if a child's not being fed anything in a day, then the child should be removed so that the child can be catered for, and that the state, in terms of the same section 28.1, has an obligation to ensure that a child is catered for and cared for in the absence of adequate parental care.